Well, Joe Biden's latest trip to Hawaii shows he doesn't care about Hawaiians, no, he doesn't care about Americans. Joining us now to assess Biden's latest blunders in the first GOP debate without President Trump is host of the Megyn Kelly Show, Megyn Kelly, not Megyn Jelly, but Megyn Kelly is here. Thank you, Megyn. So I've been saying, listen, I think Fox is in trouble. I mean, I think Fox is going to have a real snooze on their hands tomorrow night without Trump. I mean, it just feels like a lot of people vying for second place. Who watches a second place football game?
Well, I think it's going to feel a lot like 2012. You know, I mean, it's like before we had Trump, we had to do this with regular candidates who weren't that exciting to watch and wanted to talk about policy. And, you know, some people would prefer that, but there's a reason the ratings shot up to 25 million when Trump appeared at that first Fox News debate back in August of 2015. Say what you will about Trump, you cannot argue the guy's a ratings machine. I mean, there's proof positive of it in every corner. So without him, I think they'll suffer. I think they'll be boosted somewhat by the fact that those people on the stage are going to be talking a lot about, guess who? Donald Trump. And he's interesting to talk about even if he's not there. So that'll be somewhat of a boon to them. It would be worse if he were not even in this race ratings wise. But this is definitely a middle finger by Trump to Fox News and Fox Business, which have the first two debates. And he's said he doesn't think that they treated him very fairly and he doesn't want to go. And why should he boost their ratings? And the fact that he's going to do a sit down with Tucker during the debate, that's going to air during the debate, is a double, as we call it, the double barrel, Eric, because, of course, Fox screwed over Eric. And so both of these guys who feel like they were kind of dumped on by Fox News are doing some dumping of their own.
Yeah. Is the middle finger to management, do you think, or do you think it's to Brett, specifically Brett? I mean, Brett had that sit down with him maybe a month and a half ago or so. And Trump, I know, I interviewed Trump a week and a half ago. He was ticked off at Brett Baier. Do you think it's at the hosts, the moderators, or the whole
I think it's the whole thing, because I think he's got some people he likes on Fox, but he thinks they've been unfair to him. Can anyone deny that that Fox has been in the bag for DeSantis for the past year? It's obvious to anybody who's turned on the channel for 2 minutes. And so why shouldn't he be angry? I'd be ticked off too. The only reason they're now giving Trump any sort of fair shake is because he bent them to his will. He's 46 points up. Fox News has no existence if he becomes the nominee and they continue this, right? They'll lose every single one of their viewers. So they know that they're going to need to get on board a little bit more than they have been with their coverage. Though right now they seem to be having a new love affair with Vivek Ramaswamy. So we'll see. But I don't blame him for being irritated. And I will say, I think, based on the NBC News reporting that followed up on his decision to skip debates, quote, they followed up to say all of them or how many. And he reportedly said, or somebody close to him said, for now, just the first two. I do believe there's a chance we'll see Trump later in the debate season as we get closer to the actual voting.
Oh, well, sure. If he's smart, he'll take it case by case and see how people treat him before doing it. He's the clear front runner. Joe Biden, let's pivot a little bit here. Joe Biden over the weekend finally found a way to get to Hawaii. He spent 5 hours there. 5 hours. Megyn, there are people as he drove by, F Joe Biden, yelling that. People saying, I don't want you there. And we're going to show a picture. Look at it. He's falling asleep at a ceremony honoring the people who've fallen. And by the way, they're still counting the bodies. Joe Biden, Megyn, makes a joke about the hot ground when he gets off. And Joe Biden talks about a story where he almost lost his wife, his beloved Corvette. I don't know if the boxes of documents were in the Corvette or not at the time, and his cat, when the reality is he had a little bit of a kitchen fire in his sink.
I can't. It's so offensive. It's so deeply wrong. You've got at least 115 people dead on the ground there. You've got almost 1,000 more missing, including potentially scores of children. And he has the nerve, when he finally shows up after no commenting their deaths and devastation, to make it about himself.
Yeah.
Himself.
Yeah.
To talk about his fake fire that almost killed his wife. That's not what the news report said. We pulled the AP News report from 2004, and it described the fire as insignificant, contained within 20 minutes, and limited only to the kitchen. There was nothing about how his wife allegedly almost died. And now he has the nerve to get up there and actually talk about his Corvette. But that just tells you that it was a lie. Who that actually almost lost their wife after having lost a first wife in a car accident would refer to it so cavalierly in the same breath as, oh, and my Corvette? This is not a joking matter. Just ask the Hawaiians, who you've been ignoring for 2 weeks as they've been begging you for some attention. They're angry. And this is not exactly a red state, Eric. I mean, these are probably Biden voters who are yelling F you to him and saying they're over him. So he shows up. He makes it about himself twice, by the way. In second remarks later on, he went back to, I know what it's like to lose somebody, went back to the loss of his first wife in a different context that might be appropriate. In this one, stop talking about yourself. Talk about the people who are suffering. Say you're sorry. Say you'll help them. That's it. It's actually not that hard. You have a whole team of advisors telling you how to do it. You won't listen.
It's his only go-to, Megyn. He's lost it. He's gone. If you can't read a prompter, and frankly, you can't read the prompter anyway, if he doesn't have notes telling him, you're Joe, sit now, he's lost. I'm not sure. I mean, you think it's maybe selfish. I think he's gone. At one point, he couldn't remember Mazie Hirono, senator from Hawaii, and he's like, Mazie. And then he made it about himself again. I wanted to name my granddaughter Maisie. Like, you don't name your own granddaughter anyway, Joe, you fool. But then Maisie, he couldn't remember her last name. I don't know, Megyn. He lied about going to a black church growing up. He lied about growing up in a Hispanic neighborhood. He lied about going to a Jewish synagogue. He plagiarized his way through 1988 presidential election. He lied to a Gold Star mother who lost her son in Afghanistan and said he lost Bo the same way when Bo died of cancer. The guy cannot stop lying. It's his nature. It's in his DNA.
There's no question about that. But I also think you're giving him too much of a pass, because I do think what his behavior has been heartless. I mean, I've been thinking about it lately because, of course, we know he ignored the seventh grandchild and only acknowledged Little Navy once the New York Times and Maureen Dowd publicly shamed him and said, this is disgusting. So finally, in a late Friday afternoon news report and a paper statement, he acknowledged he has 7 grandchildren, not 6. So sweet. I'm sure Little Navy will wrap that around her like a Christmas sweater come the holidays. But look at what we learned the past couple of weeks about Hunter Biden. All right, take your natural disdain for Hunter out of the picture just for 1 second and go with me here. Hunter Biden, in trying to get that plea deal that fell apart, had to go through how he was addicted to drugs when he was doing all the bad tax stuff. We all know why he was saying that. But he did reveal in the context of this that he was in and out of rehab. He was inpatient rehab 6 times, also outpatient several other times, about just how addicted he was to the booze, to the crack, you name it. During these times, during 2014, during 2015, during 2016, the very times that his father well knew he was sitting on the board of Burisma and collecting $85,000 a month, that he was dealing with the Chinese and collecting millions from them, something Joe Biden lied about at the presidential debate, that he was meeting with Russian oligarchs and cashing their checks and letting them buy him cars, meetings at which Joe Biden appeared, 2 dinners that Joe Biden attended while he knew his son was in active addiction, cashing paychecks from very nefarious characters who do not have the United States' best interest at heart, letting him stay in homes where we now know Joe Biden had classified documents that were unprotected and that he had no business having in the first place. He did all of this knowing how compromised his son was emotionally, physically, mentally, in terms of his willpower and otherwise, and didn't give a damn. And I do believe it's because Joe Biden saw Hunter Biden as the cash register. This was a Joe Biden operation. Right. This wasn't a Hunter Biden operation where Joe took a cut. I believe, as Miranda Devine has opined, that it was a Joe Biden operation. Sure. Bo was the favored son. Hunter was the one who was supposed to get out there and get the money, and he didn't care about the drugs.
Hunter was the bag man. Joe knew he was selling his influence and his access, and he needed someone to do it and poof it, make it go away. And James Comer on the committee is proving that. Megyn, really good having you on. And if the media would just find a soul and call it what it is. And by the way, folks, don't take Megyn's word or my word. Just watch the guy walk around. He's walking like a literal zombie. I have no idea what it's all about. Megyn, always really, really good having you on, my friend. By the way, folks, you can check Megyn out on her podcast. Tell us where it is again, Megyn, very quickly.
YouTube.com/Megyn Kelly, or you can get my podcast wherever you get your podcasts for free.
And it's by the way, go on Instagram and watch Megyn punch the punching bag. She crushes it. She badass, folks. Megyn, thank you so much.
See ya.